Weirdness in Philly. It got out of hand during a Christmas tree lighting ceremony on live TV. Ho, 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 happiness all around. We had to blur part of it, you saw. Happened in Philly. You can hear the Christmas music in the background. Lovely time. One witness says it all started after somebody bumped into a woman for a better view. He says that woman's mother responded by dumping a soda, or as they would say there, a pop, on the alleged bumper.
She was like, don't bump my daughter and all that, you see what I'm saying? So then she threw the Pepsi on her, then they started fighting.
It's a Pepsi generation. It did get ugly. You can see that woman pulling on the other woman's hair. Police say nobody got hurt. So far, no arrests. Somehow Greg Gutfeld wandered in here, so we figured we'd talk to him about it. He's the guy from the Five and the Red Eye and all the rest. Ho, 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 jolly happiness this Christmas season.
That's the big myth of the holiday season. Actually, people are worse during this time because imagine there are millions of people that usually stay indoors all year, and then they go outside, they don't know how to handle it. Do you ever get like a wild animal in your apartment, like a squirrel? It's the reverse of that. You know,
oh, I hear you.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, the local news loves this because it's about the city of brotherly love, and they can say ha ha ha. But it really is about as brotherly as hepatitis at this point. Yeah. They need to change the motto.
But what do we need to do about all this anxiety? I recommend shopping online.
Yeah, I think that the holidays would be much better spent in silence, away from people. I like people, but when people are in groups, they're not good. And the larger the group, the worse it gets. You should suffer the holidays in silence. By the way, children singing is not a good thing. I find that, I don't know why in the holidays you have to listen to kids singing. The only other instance of kids singing are in scary movies. Do you ever notice that?
I have
When a
noticed
child
that.
is possessed, they're singing. There's a reason for that, because it's scary and it's awful.
If it's your kids singing and you go to their elementary school to watch them, that's your choice. But don't bring it out in the public. Is what you're saying.
That's something in private. The other thing I noticed about the fights, fighting while holding a kid in your hand is pretty impressive. That's got to be some kind of competition where the boxer holds a child and fights would be an interesting concept that should be here on Fox.
Kid like Mace.
Yes, exactly.
There's an interesting thing that happens out in front of our building this time of year. Those evil people over at NBC, they light a tree every year.
Yes.
They murder a tree. And they put it on a truck.
Yes.
And they bring it into the center of Commerce Land here, as one of the morning people calls it.
Yeah.
And then tourists come to see the tree.
Yes.
While the 58,000 people who work in these 10 buildings try to go about their daily lives. These things don't work well together.
The next 3 weeks are a nightmare.
Yep.
And what happens after the Christmas? Nobody cares about the tree. You know what they do to it? They eat it. It's disgusting. It's what these NBC people do. They take the tree and they devour it. They're monsters.
Well, they have nothing else.
They don't have anything else.
At least there's sustenance. What's happening on the Five this afternoon?
I think we're going to talk about
yell
this.
At each other and pick on Bob.
Exactly. I think we might do this thing on Obamacare. It's been going around.
You've been doing a little of that.
Yeah, we'll talk about the...
Why do you hate sweet Dana Perino? She's such a wonderful lady, and we love her here on the deck, and you're just mean and evil to her.
Well, you know what? If you spend a lot of time with her, you'll see
a
different side. No, she is a very, very mean, scary person. You know that dog
She likes dogs.
Doesn't exist. It's a figment of her imagination, and we play along because we're afraid if we tell her the dog isn't real, she will fall apart. So we just play along with these pictures that she finds on the internet. I think it's a Scottish man dressed up in a costume.
It could be.
Yes.
Well,
that would be interesting.
We love you, Dana. I recommend a weapon for Dana.
Yeah. Do you know that happened in Love Park?
Love Park. There we go again.
Yeah,
we should have a fight
it sounds
as well.
like a swingers destination. It's not a family-friendly place.
In which case you've been there. Greg Gutfeld from the Five and the Red Eye. It's nice to see you.
Always a pleasure.